Everybody, it's Jim with RV with the Tanners, and today I'm going to talk about some items you can add to somebody who's maybe looking for a Christmas gift or a birthday gift. We're going to come up and down the gamut from low to higher end in cost. We're going to start off with kind of some water items, if you will. Originally what we bought was this water pressure regulator for our RV. It did a pretty good job. I think it's preset to like 40 psi. You just kind of set this and forget about it. The problem with this is you don't actually see the actual pressure that's being inserted into the RV. So we updated to a higher end model by, I think it's a company called Valtera. And then what happens is the water comes in on one side, obviously it goes out on the other. But on the top it has an adjustment here. So you can adjust this screw left or right to increase or decrease the water pressure at the campground. And then it actually shows you the pressure that's going into your RV. So that's a pretty neat way to get the pressure into your RV at the right pressure, so you don't provide too much pressure to the pipes and possibly break them, or too little pressure and then you don't get a very good shower and your hair doesn't get rinsed off. I don't really have that problem, but Melinda does. When we leave home, we typically dry camp again, so we usually fill up water here at home. And the problem with that is we have like a 60-gallon water tank. It takes a long time to fill it up, and what happens is I start to fill it up and then I run in, push the button, see how much water's in there, run back out, do something else, forget about it, run back in, push the button. But then you just turn it on, again, plug your hose in one side, into the trailer with the other, and then I can tell exactly how much water I've been putting in. If we're going to go for a long time, I might fill it all the way up. If it's just a quick trip and I want to just put in 20, 30 gallons, I can specifically see exactly how much water I'm putting in. Now this is a right angle attachment. So the RVs themselves all have little outlets on them and you screw your hose into that. But the problem with that is then the hose has a pressure and it's pushing down, so it kind of pulls away from the RV with the hose. This right angle connection, it's brass by the way, does a nice job of allowing you to connect to the RV, and then the hose connects to the bottom and then it just dangles down here, so it doesn't actually pull down the whole time that you're trying to use your RV with either city water, or if you're filling it up, you could use this. I don't use this when I fill up. When you winterize, pulling the plug out of the hot water heater is difficult at best. So you need to find a deep socket. This one's about 3 inches deep. It's a 1 and 1/16 inch socket itself. So the nice thing is this goes into that, and I can release the hot water tank when I do that once or twice a year, depending on what we're doing. And then I check the rod, make sure that it's still viable, because they deteriorate over time because they're doing their job. So I purchased this one and I just leave it in the RV. I don't bring it back into the home or anything of that nature, so that we always have this with us when I need to winterize. Speaking of winterizing, so this is a neat device for us. A lot of folks in the Pacific Northwest will use something like this to winterize. What this does is it allows you to winterize without using RV antifreeze. So I attach this to the inlet on the water valve inside, I mean on the outside of the RV, but on the water coming in, and then you can attach an air hose here. So again, in the Pacific Northwest, we have relatively mild winters. It's not sub-zero freezing temperatures a lot. So what I do is I just run air through the lines in the RV, and then at the end of that, when I'm all done with all the air hoses themselves, or all the water lines, then I come back and I pour a little antifreeze into the P-troughs of all the sinks, and then we're done. Now, if you're on in a location, I don't know, that gets really, really cold, Minnesota, something like that, where it's zero, this probably isn't up your alley. You guys are going to want to use actual antifreeze in your RV to do that. Finally, on the water theme, over the winter, what we do is use this dry as air, these pellets, and then they go into a little hopper, and then we put 3 of these in the trailer, front, back, and rear. So this pulls the moisture out of the air. It's a pretty little product, fairly inexpensive, and then what happens is we just go in there and check on it once or twice a month. If it needs more, we just kind of pour more into the little hopper. If the hopper starts to get full, we just pour it out. Okay, so we're going to continue on. I've already done a video on this device here from Schumacher, but I kind of wanted to just call it back into this. This device currently is about $103, $105 on Amazon. Does a bunch of stuff. I'll link at the end of this video where you can see the actual video I did on the Schumacher pump itself. But in summary, it provides AC power, DC power, it can jumpstart your vehicle, it's a pump, and it's a compressor, so it does a bunch of different things. The reason I'm calling this out is just realistically to help with tire pressure in your vehicle, both your tow vehicle and your RV. So a neat solution here, good gift. It's a little bit more on the higher expensive side, but if you're looking for a nice gift for somebody, look no further. This is a really neat device in order to help people down the road and be safe, keeping their tires inflated. Speaking of tires inflated, I use this pressure valve to monitor the pressure in the RV, both and the truck. But the nice thing is it has this flexible hose, and then I don't have to reach all the way down there. I can quickly see the pressure. I don't think any RV is realistically safe without having some sort of air pressure guide, so you can quickly see what the pressure is in your RV and in your tow vehicle. It's extremely important. Now, kind of a fun one that I'm going to do here next is, it's kind of deceiving when you look at it, but the device itself replaces the brake. This is a breakaway cable that's going to replace the brake cable on either your fifth wheel or on your towable trailer. So then the device connects here, get this little tag out of the way, connects to the actual brake of the RV, again, either on the fifth wheel or the towable. Normally on a fifth wheel, and that's what we have, people bring it up to the front and they connect it up somewhere around the hitch of the fifth wheel. Now that gets a little cumbersome because I have to take a step, I climb up on the fifth wheel, I attach it, we put the safety pin in, and then I put the existing cable in there. And it really is difficult for me to get that far up there. I mean, these trucks are tall, right guys? So what I've done is I've purchased this cable, and I'm going to change things around. So the RV itself has an umbilical cord that comes off, and then it plugs into the inside on our truck. It has a quick connect in the lower part of the bed itself towards the rear, rather than having to come over the tailgate and down. So knowing that, what I did is I went out and purchased this. It's from Bullring. I'll put a link down below. But what it does is it connects into the rail on your pickup, and then when you need it, the rail itself pops up, but then when you're done, you push it down, and then it's out of the way. So rather than to take the brake cable from the kingpin and the hitch and come up to the front and attach it to my RV hitch, now what I'm going to do is just kind of come straight over. So I reach down, I plug in my umbilical cord to get the RV plugged in for lights, and now if you just take a quick connect on this guy pops up, locks into place, and then real quickly, I can just attach this over to the braking cable on the RV, and now it's out of the way. So you guys with fifth wheels, you know that this cable can sometimes get caught up on stuff. Now it's on a little springy cable here. It's up, out of the way. It realistically kind of just follows the tailgate of your pickup. So it's nice. It doesn't have any way to get caught on stuff, and you don't have to climb up into your bed of your pickup to get this detached. If you have a towable trailer, it's a little bit different. It's a lot easier on a tow trailer just to click it on the hitch itself. And the nice thing about these is I can put 6 of these in the truck because there's connections in the front, or the adapters in the front, middle, and back of the pickup. So I can have 6 of these. Now I don't have to use the tie downs that are down below. I can do these quick connects. They're rated at 1,000 pounds each. All right, up next is some of the lubricants that we use on the trailer and in the motorcycles. So this is a dry lube. I use this on stuff like in the slide out where it has gears that turn, on the chain of the motorcycle if I don't have motorcycle grease or chain oil with me at the time. The nice thing about this is it also goes in like the lock. If you can't get to it, or it's something that actually moves and has tumblers, it's better to use a dry lube like this in order to lubricate the device rather than use a silicone spray. And then finally, I do have silicone spray. So again, this is from WD-40, and we use this primarily on things like the landing gear legs that are going up and down. I do it like every 2 to 3 trips that we do. I go out there and I'll spray the landing gear legs. Anything that realistically needs that. If you have like a wrench that's a little bit sticky, put a little bit of silicone spray on that and it'll get going again. All right, to round out the list of items that I've been talking to you about today, the last one is from DJI, and it's called DJI Osmos. That's OSMO. And the device itself is a gimbal for a camera. They have a device that has a camera built in, but I purchased the one where I can use my smartphone because I already have smartphones, and it's a good use of the technology that I've already purchased. What does it do? It allows you to take videos, and you'll see that the camera itself is being very stable as I'm moving this around. So we use this when we're out walking around campgrounds and video recording things, so you don't see the videos actually jumping around and moving while you're doing that. There's a mount on the side here so you can attach it to a tripod if that's important to you. On the front is a little joystick, and you can push that up and down so the camera moves up, the camera moves down, up and down here, so it can go side to side. There's another button in the front here to take photos. The last button is if you want to start and stop your video recording. On the side is the power button, and that does what you think it does. The little LED here is for Bluetooth, so if you have the connection to the phone itself is going to be a Bluetooth connection, so it indicates that it is connected to the phone. On the very bottom is where the battery comes out. The link I'm going to provide you down below is to this device with only one battery. I made the mistake and I bought one with 3 batteries, a bundle, because I thought that's what I was going to need. But to tell you the truth, I've never used that second and third battery. They're still brand new, sitting in their box, sitting in the truck. I've never used them. So if you really think you're going to use this a lot, maybe that bundle is good for you. There's a button in the last button, actually, in the back. When you press that button, now you see if I turn this handle, the camera does not move. So this is neat if you have a capability where you're moving around and you think you might actually be moving your wrist, but you don't want to lose focus on the device you're filming at the time. Turning this around, that's the button I was just talking about right there. On the top is where you just move this knob left and right, and it opens up the crimping mechanism. There's a final knob here that allows this arm to move in and out, and that's how you adjust the balance of the device. So a pretty neat device if you have somebody who's into recording videos, somebody's watching kids that play soccer games, football games, and they don't want to have a lot of that video editing. Alright, so that's about a wrap to this video. We showed you a few products that might fit a need for someone that you know who's an RVer or an outdoor enthusiast that could use some of those products, all the way up to somebody who's doing some high-end video recording with that Dji Cosmos device. Thanks for taking the time and watching our videos. If you have any questions or comments, please put them down below. And as always, there's a little button over here if you'd like to subscribe to our channel to find when we post new videos. That would be very helpful. From Lynn and myself, thanks for watching and have a great day.